Okay, this is a continuation of the last video. At the very end, I kind of had a student come in, so I kind of switched gears really quickly. I'm going to cover sports and opinions here at the end so that we can go ahead and move on to other things for next week. This is again for Pub Edition for East Los Angeles College's journalism department. I hope you guys are watching this and taking notes on this. This will be really quick, so please try to keep up. When we were covering sports, and we talked about this before, and this is a continuation of the past video, so I hope it makes sense as I'm going through it. When we're talking about sports, one of the more important things to keep in mind when doing this is that typically, unless it's a feature in sports, which again, you would go and use the feature kind of information for a sports article like that. But when it comes to sports, typically when we're covering games, when we're going over what happened, we want so we want to have the score. How did the team win? How did the team win or lose? What was the end? What did they move in place? These are all very important things to cover in your league. Now, I am not a big sports buff. I do not know how all of the terminology works, but that's why we have so many people on staff that do. So again, when you're writing this kind of stuff for the league, you want to make sure you get the most important information. This, again, I'm not going to go over too hard. I'm not going to harp on it too much, but again, most important info here. Again, it becomes part of the league. So if there is a hurt player, if you can somehow work it into the lead, that would also be important. If, for example, player number 7, James John, hurt his broken ankle while playing soccer, that is part of your league. James John, number 14 or whatever, James John from East Los Angeles Community College, or East Los Angeles College, pardon me. Broken ankle in the second half of the Huskies game with Huskies a game with Mount San Antonio College, which ended in a 5-6 loss for ELAC. Done. There would be your lead. You would go on to talk about the information, for example, about what his condition is. And again, when it comes to covering sports, you would want to focus on when it's a sports news story, you want to use the inverted pyramid here again, but you are also going to want to give a kind of not a play-by-play, but a description of the game. So what would happen here is you would go through the game. So you want to go through the entire game, giving a detailed explanation of what worked and what didn't work for ELAC, as well as the team that we were playing. In a situation like I just said right now, like if a player hurt his ankle, that would literally be the first paragraph. Again, like I said, whatever, I forget his name, but so and so hurt his ankle. This is his last name, right? We only use last names after we actually said it once. So and so was tackled by I don't know, Joe Blow from Mount San Antonio College in the 47th minute of in the 67th minute of of the game. The play had so and so going to pass to a forward. When when Blow decided when Blow tackled him hard across both his legs, injuring his ankle in the offset of that tackle. That would be kind of what you would put right after your lead. Then you would go into the game itself, and you would start talking about the game. The game, both sides played hard. The first goal or the first whatever, and you would go from there. You would want to delineate goals. Talk about goals or points scored, when, and by who. Okay, so again, I'm going to go over this super briefly because this should be attached to the other video. Attribution, we already know about it, right? I'm not going to go over it again. Just make sure you do it, okay? All right. So the main details, like we've been talking about, are going through the game, focusing on big moments, big plays, scoring. If there is a very big piece of information, like I said, if a player gets hurt on our team specifically or whatnot, make sure that goes in the lead. The lead is typically who won the game, how many points, what placement they are, that kind of deal. Make sure you talk to, in these kind of stories, make sure you talk to and go over and ask questions from the coaches on both sides, okay? So interview for a little bit of research section here. You want to interview as many people as you can. But you want to talk to coaches, players, and if they're open to it, even refs. Okay? This is all important stuff. This is for both teams, okay? If you can get a comment from an opposing team's coach or an opposing team's player, that's important. Do that. Ask that question. Okay? Let's see. So let's move on here. Let's continue talking a little bit. Opinions. Okay, so we talked about this before. I mentioned it before. But your lead is your opinion. So just write what your opinion is. If you think hamburgers are better than hot dogs, your opinion would be hamburgers are a better food than hot dogs ever have been. Your opinion is set. That's it. You have your lead. Everything that comes after that, what follows should always help support your opinion. Okay? This is one of those instances where there is a caveat to some of the rules that we've talked about so far, specifically on the I rule, okay? But being that you guys are pups, please take this into account, okay? Again. Okay? The I rule is still set. Unless your experience is helpful to or connects to your opinion. What does that mean, Juan? What does that mean? I don't know what that means, Juan. Meaning. if your opinion can be bolstered, that just means helped, guys. Don't get too flustered with the word. If your opinion can be bolstered by an experience you had, or have, you can use your experience. Okay? So what does that mean? That means that, okay, that if you are writing, for example, you have you're writing here, blah, 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 blah. This is information that you got from maybe some research that you did, or maybe an interview you conducted. And then you have your own section, or you have your own experience, excuse me. You would say, I have blank, 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 whatever. I have had that experience. I have also been hurt by the horrible taste of hot dogs. Hamburgers have always helped me feel more at home. Okay? This is your I section. Then, so this is attributed information. Okay? So you have someone that said it, or someone that is helping your perspective. Okay? Or it's your written opinion. You're talking about something here. You add in your experience. Okay? Then you go right back and you create helpful info, or an argument that helps you, you create either helpful information or an argument that helps your opinion. But you stop using I. Move on. Okay? So yes, you can have I in your opinions. But currently, I would suggest for all pups, I would suggest personally right now, okay, that you stick with this part. That the I rule is set. Don't give yourself the option to add, oh, I feel like this, or this has happened to me. Unless it's really something that's really happened to you, that's really affected you, and you have a really good story, a really good bit of information to add. Unless that's the case, do not use I. Forget that there even is an option for I. That is what I feel is best. You can do what you want. It is really up to you. I would suggest not to, though. Makes things easier. In an opinion, okay, we talked about the lead. So let's talk about a little bit about the details and stuff, okay? So we need to, which is the research. Okay? And this should go without saying. And I think I should have said this at the beginning, but especially in these opinion pieces, and this goes back to, again, to the same thing, you need attribution 100%. What would I recommend? I got this piece of advice from a workshop at JCC, which is one of the conferences that we have as journalists. I would have one person that supports your idea, that supports your opinion. I have one person that doesn't. Okay, so one person for, one person against. I would also have one person that is in the middle. How many is that? 3, right? 3 attribution. Hard and fast rule, I think, for all stories, but one that I should have maybe mentioned earlier. Rule. There are no one source attribution stories. Okay, it just isn't. There are no one source, one attributed story. Okay, why is that? Is because if you use just one source, you are only getting one perspective. The job of a journalist is to look at all perspectives. Look at all perspectives and provide readers with all info. Some stories really only have one perspective. That is true, but you should always try to look at the other side of an argument. Okay, try. Some stories just don't make any sense to have 2 sides to them. You know, and by sides I mean where you can kind of compare the two things. Typically, news stories, you don't really need 2 sides, but you do need more than one source. So if you cover a break-in at the college, you would want to talk to the security people at the college, the sheriff's department at the college. You would want to talk to the IT department and see what the cameras caught. You would want to talk to the VP or the president of the college, asking why it happened, or asking what happens now. Will the district, will the college itself increase patrols? What are they going to do? There is never one source story. Okay. Going back to opinions, we talked about the research, the need for attribution. Talked about the lead. Okay. So you need to do that. If your opinion is hamburgers are better than hot dogs, go to somebody who knows about hamburgers. Go to somebody who knows about hot dogs. Okay? Talk to them each about what's important and what makes them tasty. If your story is on, I'm for masks, or I'm against masks, why are we still using them? Make sure you talk to the people who this would make sense to. Write the district an email. Ask them why we are no longer or continuing to use masks. Write the college. Talk to the VP of Student Services. Talk to the health center on site on college at the college. If your opinion is masks don't help, then ask them questions about what effects masks actually have on transmitted disease. You may find that the facts do not back up your opinion. That's when you have to go an alternate route. Or if you support masks, okay, good. You say masks are the best way to stop disease. You quote a health official at the student health center. You say that's why we need to have them on campus. You quote any kind of research that has been done on online research. You can use online sources for this. Don't use every source that you use for your article and opinion from online. Someone on campus, someone from campus should be talking to you, should be giving you information on how to write, on what you can say and can't say, what is positive and on your side, what is maybe against your argument. This is stuff that you're trying to get from the college, from people that work and are part of us at ELAC. Okay, I'm going to try to leave a couple of just general kind of tips here at the end for all kinds of stories. You know, especially with the way things are right now, if you're covering the news, a feature, any of these types of stories, badger people, email them every day, morning, noon, and night if you want. If you can do it those times, 3 times a day, do it. Sometimes people are hard to get a hold of. It's very hard to get a hold of people right now. If you're capable and confident to come on campus, please do wear a mask. Come on campus, interview people that you can find for your stories. It's easier to find people sometimes in person. Again, with everything going on, they may not be there, but you can try. You know, going to art pieces, just keep in mind, don't ruin the story for anybody. Don't tell everybody every single detail. Don't do it. If there's a really cool moment that you like that shows why, be vague. Be vague. Character A interacts with character B. They talk about a very important moment in the movie, and it just shows the interaction between the two kind of different styles that these characters have. I didn't give away anything about the movie. That's how you should write your arts pieces. Movie review types, TV show types. If you're covering or if you're writing an opinion, all right, try to find an opinion that you believe in. If you use an opinion that you believe in, you tend to work a little bit harder on it. You tend to have more knowledge about it too. Go to official sources first. If you know that we have information at the campus level, but you know that there's information at the county level or at the state level or at the federal level, use those numbers. We always have things on, especially the last 2 years. We've had stuff on COVID. Use the CDC website, the government website, Center for Disease Prevention and Control. Use their website, that's CDC. Use LA County's a health website for numbers for LA County. Use governmental .orgs when needed. These are probably the best sources, most reliable sources. Contact people on staff at ELAC. Go online, use the directory. There is a directory where you can actually use that and kind of get an idea of of who you can contact. For sports, again, reach out to coaches, reach out before or after games, get quotes from them. When you do quotes, keep in mind that may be a good instance for recording. Take your notes, but maybe record audio. So when you try to quote somebody, you quote them word for word for what they said. If you feel like there might be something wrong with the quote, or it sounds kind of confusing, or it doesn't make a lot of sense, shoot it back to them. Say, hey, you know what? I wrote this down. This is what I recorded and I wrote down. I want to quote you on this. Do you want to explain it better? Do you want to simplify it? Do you want to make it more detailed? I want you to sound good when we're writing this, or I want you to sound correct when you're writing this. Not good, correct. All right, well, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to go over a couple of really quick rules, or not rules, but just details and pieces of information that would help with stories. As you can see, I'm going slowly through the pages just so that you have an idea. You can copy down the information, take a picture, or rewatch the video. Obviously, these are all important pieces of information to have. If you have any further questions, please email your email message, join Slack, DM, connect with your PUP EIC, whoever that may be, whenever it may be. Connect with your PUP EIC. If typically they will have additional help from the current on staff EIC, they will be their managing editor. You can contact them as well. Look through the Slack. I'm the tutor right now for journalism. So if I am still tutoring at the Learning Center, or if I'm still available on staff, please shoot me a message as well. I'm on both Slacks, PUP and the main campus news one. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for listening to me prattle on, and I hope these videos were helpful.